Today we're out at the range with a firearm you've probably seen on Instagram, either Copper Custom, the Military Arms Channel Instagram page, or the Definitive Arms Instagram page. It's called the DASA, D-A-S-A, and it stands for the Definitive Arms Short Action Rifle. And yeah, you're probably thinking, where's the stock, man? Well, that's because the stock actually folds to the side and then locks in place in the fully extended position like this. So what is this? Well, the DASA is a chassis system that uses 700 actions, or actions that are based on the 700 action. What we have here right now is a actual Remington action that Chase trued up. It's a Remington barrel that he trued up, made everything more precise, dropped it into his new chassis, and then the guys over at Copper Cerakoted it this flat dark earth for me. Now this is a rifle that I had Chase set up for myself, and this is a 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. On top of it, it does have a Trichicon. It's a 2.5 to 10 power with a 56mm bell. And on the very end of it, we have a Griffin Armament Explorer in 6.5. So you might think, wow, that's a long rifle, but when you take into consideration, I can pull this pin, fold it, lock it in the folded position, and just have to transport that in the field. It's pretty darn handy. Then when you're ready to set up in a blind, or you're ready to take that shot, you just fold it out, lock it in place, and get on target. So now this one has the PRS stock on it. You don't have to use a PRS stock. These are heavy stocks, but I like it because it's adjustable. And I may try swapping it out with just a standard M4 style stock, but that's the beauty of this system, is the fact that you're using a lot of AR-15 type parts. The rail that you see here is just a standard BCM rail. Pretty much any rail that's on the market will fit on the DASA. Back here we have a standard M4 buffer tube, and it has a PRS stock on it, but I can put a collapsible M4 stock on it. I can do this as a pistol with a brace. There's an infinite number of options that the DASA brings to market, and one of the things I really like about it most, you're going to see in the video, is while I'm on the gun, a lot of times, like with bolt action rifles, military rifles, you'll find that you have to kind of move your face out of the way of the bolt and then go back into the shooting position. Look how this bolt runs. See what the bolt's doing? It's coming back into the buffer tube, and at no time is it coming anywhere near my face. Not only that, if you take a look at when I have it in the shoulder, look where the center of bore is. The center of bore is directly in line with my shoulder. It's not above it, so it resists the tendency of many rifles when you have the bore axis above the shoulder to rise violently with larger calibers. It's going to push straight back into your shoulder, much like an AR-15. So that's what we're going to talk about today, guys, is the DASA. Do a little bit of shooting with it. We have a couple of different variations of the rifle out here this afternoon to show you guys, and then we'll probably do a quick Q&A with Chase and have him tell you more about his brainchild. Let's get started. This is Chase. You've seen him here on the channel before. So anyway, guys, what we have on the table in front of us is a selection of different DASA configurations. Now, start off with my particular rifle. This one has a 20-inch heavier profile barrel on it, PRS stock. So this is going to be a heavier variation of the DASA. But we have some other options which are pretty much infinite based upon what the customer may want, right?
Well, absolutely. That was the whole point of the chassis system, was to have a center that you could build out any direction you want to fit, very small niche rolls to, larger rolls for long distance shooting. And much similar to like an AR-15, it's like you start with that lower, but is it precision gun with a 20-inch barrel? Is it a PDW sized gun with a 9-inch barrel? And you can really tailor it to whatever you want.
So this would be the extreme small end of the scale. This one's in 300 blackout, has a pistol caliber 9mm can on it that's rifle rated, and this is pretty minimalistic.
Absolutely.
And so this shows the extreme of how small you can go.
Well, we showed this off a little while ago, and we've actually had a large number of inquiries from guys like Alaskan bush pilots and people who see what this gun is capable of. It fills a very niche role, but it's very minimalist, very lightweight, and it's right to the point. You know, not a whole lot going on other than the fact that you can fold it down, you know, quick detach the suppressor, and you could stow it in a bag, or with the built-in QD sock on the side, you could hang it on a single point, and it would take up very little space and not be too much of a nuisance if you had a long hike.
And you can put it in really big calibers, 500 Smith & Wesson. I mean, pretty much you can do anything with it, right, caliber-wise?
Yeah, you'd be looking at a gun this size with a 8.5, 9-inch barrel. If you chambered it in 500 or 460 or something like that, you'd basically have more energy than, like, say, a 24-inch 4570. So talk about a new take on the guide gun that's the size of a PDW. And that way, if you're hiking at 8 miles through the mountains, it's not weighing you down, and it's not hard to swing it if you need to take a quick shot. And
so what we have here is a standard Remington-style base plate. Okay, so you can just put your regular 5 rounds into it, which is something I prefer in a hunting rifle because I'm not going to go out into the field with a magazine if I don't have to, because generally I'm not going to get more than 1, maybe 2 shots on an animal. Typically I try to get it done with 1. But if you do like, you shoot PRS or you do something, you do want extra rounds in a magazine, you want to be able to quickly reload, that option's available too because you've made that option as part of the feature set of the DEYSA. Can you tell us a little bit about this particular configuration?
So, I mean, we've already had some interest from law enforcement, particularly, LE snipers, on the SWAT team, and naturally it's like in a more tactical application or competition shooting, like F-class shooting, stuff like that. You're going to want to have detachable magazines, so you can quickly get rounds back in the gun. This is a bottom metal that we designed, and it's actually fairly unique in the sense that not only does it work with our chassis, but it can actually drop into most factory Remington 700 stocks and require little to no fitting to get it to work, unlike other bottom metals out there where you have to have a proprietary stock or you have to have a dedicated chassis to run the mags. So this on our system will be modular, where you have an oddball caliber they don't make a magazine for. You can keep the factory bottom metal and still have all the other features of the chassis, or naturally you can take AICS pattern magazines and put them right in.
So that gives you that type of option, which is going to be a big decision maker for a lot of folks out there that do want the AICS mags, because they are kind of the industry standard now. And then we have one other example here. Now, how long is the barrel on this one?
That guy is a 16.5-inch barrel. This one's chambered in 308. Pretty convenient size. If you take the suppressor off, unfold the stock up, I mean, it stows into a bag that's meant for an M4, and it's a lot handier than a full-size drag bag.
Right, so it gives you an idea, guys, of the various barrel lengths with the folding chassis. All right, then this is one of my favorites because I just love green. I like anything other than black. It's like green and flat dark earth are the new blacks, but this looks really, really sharp. And again, this is a different configuration. It's another lightweight configuration that has just a standard M4 style stock on it, so you can adjust the length of pull. Of course, we have the folding capabilities are retained. You still have the QD mounts, which are standard in all of the DEYSAs, right?
Yes.
And so then it becomes a matter of what stock do you want on it, what rail do you want on it, and then what action and barrel.
Right. Yeah, and so this particular gun is chambered in 300 blackout, has a Criterion match grade barrel in it, and even for its size, 9-inch barrel, we're getting pretty good accuracy out of this gun. But off the bat, you can utilize these with almost any Remington patterned barrel, and using that barrel nut system. We have a proprietary version of the barrel nut that helps facilitate use of AR-15 handguards. But outside of that, guys who build their own bolt actions or other armors, so you need generally action wrenches and a little bit more dedicated tools than just a screwdriver and Allen key. We'll be able to sell the individual parts so other guys can build custom guns from the ground up using this system. And that way, pretty much any off-the-shelf barrel that'll work in a 700 can be tailored to work.
But you also have another chassis that's available that is intended for the home builder. Right. It has a 700 that just wants to drop it in and doesn't want a bunch of armor's tools. Yeah, we do have a drop-in version of the chassis, and we have examples of that back at the shop. And basically, you can take a factory 700 that you pull right out of that wood stock or that a Hogue overmolded rubber stock they send with it, and with nothing more than 2 Allen keys and a screwdriver, and a couple minutes of time, you can drop it in, and it should take most AR handguards. They'll go right over a piece mounted to the front. And then again, off the back, you can put any buffer tube or pistol tube you want in, SP brace, any AR-15 grip you want, and you can still choose to retain your original bottom metal, or you could upgrade to using detachable mags with our bottom metal. But that's not to make it seem overly complicated to build this on the standard chassis that we have here. It's just you need, the tool and your nut. And, right. It could be done by somebody that's just mechanically inclined, because you guys tear these things down, put them back together in like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. So it's not like, It boils down to if somebody is more involved and they already own the action wrenches and they own, torque wrenches and things that we need. It's a fairly simple operation for entry-level armor. We just have an alternative for guys who don't want to invest in a couple $100s at tools. They might not already have them. Maybe they're on a budget.
And, you know, if this were the drop-in version, they could take that factory 700, you know, here's the original action, here would be the original bottom, remove the floor plate, basically house it into the new chassis, and you're in a couple minutes with a
So you're
screwdriver.
not pulling barrels apart from actions, nothing like that. You're just literally dropping it in and going.
Right,
All right.
right. So, and then again, the dedicated one for armors who want to go above and beyond, they can custom fit them with all kinds of barrels that are on the market that may not be, you know, what you'd see in a normal 700.
Awesome. Just did it again. With this still air, man, that mirage comes straight up. I see 3 dots. That's why blue. It just causes a disturbance, so you can see it move away. Every time that first shot is money. Exactly what I want out of a hunting rifle. Another stellar group. That's 3 perfect groups. Factory ammo, factory barrel, factory action, just trued by Chase. And the Federal's putting down the money, man. It really is. Everything's working perfectly. God, I love that rifle. We're out screwing around today, and me personally, I'm just trying to get used to my new DEYSA, which I hope to take into the field with deer season coming up here quickly in Indiana, the fall, and hopefully I'll harvest a nice buck or doe with that rifle. I'll keep you guys posted on that, and hopefully if we do get lucky and harvest a deer, I'll share that video with you guys. But the cold bore shot on my 6.5 is exactly where I want it to be. And for a hunting rifle, that's what I care most about. Now, if you're a PRS shooter, you're gonna want to run mag after mag after mag. We didn't do that today. I was more or less trying to keep the barrel cool so I could simulate that first cold bore shot. And here is my 6.5 groups, a couple of groups that are representative. We tried a number of different flavors of ammunition, Winchester, Hornady, stuff like that. But once again, the Federal gold medal match turns in the best performance for us again here today, both with the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 308, but these are half-minute groups. I'm using the Ballist X application on my iPhone. It's available on the iPhone and on Droid. A lot of you guys are asking me, what's that cool application that's giving you your group sizes? It keeps you honest, and it's a really cool application. It's available in the Apple Store, and I don't know how you Droid guys work, but yeah, it's a neat phone app and very, very handy. And here's some of the groups, a couple of the groups from the 308 rifle sitting here to my right. And again, these are both sub MOA. This is right at a half minute, and this one is just about 0.7. The Creedmoors were right at a half minute. So the rifles shoot. Now that's with trued actions and barrels from Chase. You can get the basic chassis that you can install yourself in your existing Model 700, and that's fairly affordable. If you want to go with a total custom job where you get a chassis that's built around your action, it's trued, things like that, you're going to start looking at right around 1,500 bucks, and it just goes up from there depending on what components you use. So keep in mind, this is a custom rifle. If you want to install one to an existing chassis that doesn't require special tools, that's also available to you guys if you have a 700 that shoots really good and you just want to put it in the chassis. The cans that we were using out here today are the Griffin Armament Explorers. This one's a 30 cal. The other one is 6.5 specific that I have on my flat dark earth DEYSA. We do want to thank Primary Arms. I know they sent this scope to Chase to use, and this is obviously the scope we use to shoot the groups. It's not a very precise reticle. It has the ACSS reticle. If you've not tried it, it's really interesting. It's really great for shooting like hunting or shooting steel plates and stuff like that. But for a precision reticle, it just has a chevron that's kind of broad. But even despite that, we're able to put down sub-minute groups using Federal gold medal match with this rifle and suppressor combination. So really, really cool setup. And I'll just show this again because this became one of my favorite configurations this afternoon. I got to play with this a little bit. This one's in 300 blackout. What a cool little gun. So guys, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those questions down below. I'm sure Chase from Definitive Arms will swing by and answer the questions you might have. We'll be sure to, I should say, check out coppercustom.com because that's where you're gonna find the DASAs available. If you have any other questions, again, ask them down below. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, a great way to do that is to become a Patreon supporter. There is a link down below. Follow that link and check out some of the incentives and consider becoming part of our Patreon family. Also, swing by, check out coppercustom.com, and check us out on Twitch, link down below. We are Twitch gamers. If you're a Patreon supporter, send us a note, tell us what your PSN network name is. We'll add you as a friend, and you can join us in a live stream. Guys, thanks for 11 years of support, and we'll talk to you soon.